Houston, we have a problem.
Give me all you got!
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Give me back my gun! I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Pre-show, we had a beautiful conversation about nudity and nude fight scenes,
We did.
and you
So-
didn't hit the record button.
I
Now we have to
didn't.
have it.
I didn't. I was gonna, and then you were listening to a YouTube video, so I waited, and then you started talking about this movie. But I'm recording now, so we're not going to repeat the conversation. But if there's any intimacy coordinators listening, please contact us. We would like to know: are you called onto set when there's a nude fight scene?
And I'm going to rewatch this nude fight scene just for research reasons.
Yeah, we want to see if there's a stunt double.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a stunt double change. I think there's stunt doubles here. I'm going to watch. Okay, so the guy gets her in a headlock.
Yeah.
She, suplexes him. Yeah, that's a stunt double. That's got to be a stunt double.
This is about the movie No Hard Feelings, by the way. It's not about Con Air. We'll get to Con Air.
Nudity would help Con Air. Like if Nick Cage whipped it out.
A lot of things would
Mid-movie.
a lot of things would help Con Air.
Like especially Nick Cage whipping it out. But I think there's but hey, yeah, intimacy coordinator, if you are there, if you are listening, would you have been present for a scene like this where an actor is fighting nude? Because I hear intimacy and I'm thinking like, well, yeah, someone's naked. But then someone's getting their ass kicked. So I don't know. Like, are you like, hey, while you're getting your ass kicked, just remember this is a person. I
I mean,
have so
like-
many questions.
I mean, like,
want to talk.
how intimate of an experience is it to be fully nude and like having to suplex like 3 other people, you know? And then what happens if you add Kurt Angle to the mix?
It would be a fun episode
What?
if we got an intimacy coordinator on.
That would be fun.
And the movie we were watching was like, what was that Shia LaBeouf movie where it was the woman character? The woman was like a nympho. Is it the movie Nymphomaniac?
He is in a movie called Nymphomaniac, so I'm sure that's the movie you're thinking of.
I think it's a 2-parter also. Which, by the way, Shia LaBeouf being in a movie called Nymphomaniac, I've got some red flags for everybody here that I'm going to hand out to the class.
Yeah. I
But,
mean, that I wouldn't consider that a dad movie, but it would be fun.
We'll put word out to intimacy coordinators and see if somebody answers our bat signal.
But welcome to Stand and Watch, the best dad movie podcast, and only dad movie podcast that you're listening to because we killed all the others.
There are no other dads that watch movies and record podcasts about them because we murdered them
Yeah.
and orphaned their children. We widowed their wives and spouses
Listen.
and partners.
Listen, it had to be done. It had to be done.
There can only be one.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, that should go on a future wheel.
What? There can only be one?
Highlander.
Highlander. I've never seen Highlander.
Really? Well, that's where that's from. I've also never seen it, but Sean Connery's in it and plays like a fancy swordsman guy.
Did we introduce ourselves yet? I don't think we introduced ourselves.
No, we introduced the podcast. We're the hosts of the podcast, Matt and Nick. You can figure out which one's which. I'm Matt.
I'm Nick. I wanted to be Matt though, but that's okay.
Yeah. So you know what? I wanted to be Nick.
Next time, on the next one, we'll switch it up. I'll be Matt, you be Nick.
Yeah. You know, it'd be a fun bit if we legally changed our names.
That would be maybe if we do like a body switching movie, we legally do that for that episode.
That you know what? That's a great bit, but we can't do it now because we gave it away.
Well, you know what? By the time we do it, it'll be like 10 episodes in the past or whatever. Yeah, we'll be all right. We can come back to it. Save that bit, write it down somewhere.
Yeah, we'll save that bit for the change up.
I do like to change up. Honestly, I like anything better than the movie we're going to talk about today.
I'd say Freaky Friday, but that's not really a dad movie.
What's we're kind of on a Zac Efron kick after last week. We could do 17 again. That's kind of the body switching ilk, but switching into your younger version.
Yeah, we could. Or the change up. The change up's a good one. I like that.
Change up's a good one.
Yeah.
I like Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. They're pretty good guys.
Yeah.
I think Leslie Mann's also in that movie. I think she's got a body double in that one.
Maybe, because there's a
No, I
nude
think
scene
she
in
does.
that.
I think someone pointed. I think my wife pointed it out to me.
Oh, you know
We
who
were
else?
watching the change.
You know who else? Olivia Wilde's in that movie, and she has CGI nips.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a naked pregnant lady in that movie too?
I think that's Leslie Mann.
No, it's a. So Ryan Reynolds' character is having a regular hookup with a pregnant woman, and Jason
Is it?
Bateman's in his body, and he's like, "I don't want to do this. Don't make me do this." He's like, "Don't blow this for me. When she's not pregnant, the sex is going to be amazing."
Oh yeah, that's right. Now I remember. It's all coming back.
But Leslie Mann, like you see her body doubles, naked body, and then she's heading to the bathroom to go shit, and you hear her shitting.
Yes, that I remember. I remember the shitting. Speaking of shit,
Great segue.
today's episode is about Con Air. You already knew that because it's the title of the episode. Fans of Con Air, I hate to disappoint you. We don't like this movie.
Fans of Con Air, I'm very disappointed in you because you're a fan of Con Air.
All right. Well, before we discuss our hatred of this film, that some regard as a classic, Dad approved Letterboxd reviews.
I'll go first. I've got a review from KYK. They are not a patron, cheap motherfucker. They gave Con Air 4 stars and a heart and said, "Wow, I need a gif of Nick Cage beating up the guy and yelling, 'Don't treat women like that.'" Which I agree. I giggled at that moment in the movie.
Yeah. Okay, I got
That
two
fucking
reviews
line
here.
Delivery.
Don't treat women like that.
As he's bashing the man's head into a cage.
I got two reviews here. This first one is from Crampy Joe, who is a pro member. Gave this movie 5 stars. So I'm a little hesitant on your movie taste there, Crampy Joe, but to each their own. And he wrote, "They say to be a man you have to have a penis. Wrong. You just need to watch this film." Which
I hate him even more for that review.
I don't agree with at all, but that's a very dad thing to say.
I hate this. I hate this so much.
All right. This next review is actually from a fellow Hard Drive writer. If you don't know, me and Nick both write for Hard Drive. I'm a little higher on the food chain than him, but
I write the better. I write the better. He's higher on the food chain. I write the better articles. We take our wins where we can.
that's debatable. I have a couple of big hits, buddy. Couple of big hits.
You know what? You can have the hit. You can have the hits. People listen to bullshit on Top 40 radio. Okay, it's those sleepers you got to look out for.
Yeah, who's the one approving those sleepers, buddy? Because it ain't Kyle. Shout out Kyle, the other food chain.
Shout out Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle. Kyle's a good guy. He's
big Animal Crossing fan.
Yeah, he's
Big.
the other editor.
Loves his Bell Debt. Loves
Yeah.
Bell Debt.
Yeah.
Loves being in the pocket of Tom Nook.
All right, so this is from Joe Rumrill. Rumrill?
Sounds right.
Yeah, I've never have to say his name out loud. Who gave Con Air 4 stars. He's, by the way, Joe is not a patron or pro member. I guess we don't pay him enough.
Cheap ass, and he has terrible movie tastes. God.
You know what? You could afford pro and patron if you just you haven't written an article in a while, Joe. Come back to us.
Yo, come back.
Anyway, he wrote, "The second Ving Rhames movie I've seen that ends with millions of dollars falling from the sky. Folks, I guess it's true what they say. When it rains, it pours."
I do like Joe. Come back. That was good. Joe,
Yeah,
come back.
I'm mad that I'm mad I'll never write a letterbox review as good as that.
I'm mad that I can't shake man's hand in the Slack or give him a salute emoji.
Yeah. But okay,
What's the first Ving Rhames movie where it rains money?
I don't know. We'll have to go through his filmography, which
Well,
would,
here I'm on IMDb. Let me check.
yeah, let's do it. That's
So-
better than talking about this movie.
Yeah, well, real quick, well, first of all, Ving Rhames is in Wild Robot. Good for fucking him.
That's a great movie. I just watched that. I cried.
But also he was in the Garfield movie from this year. So you know what? I'm taking it back, Ving. Taking it back.
But he's Ethan Hunt's number one guy.
He is, which means they're gonna kill him in the next movie.
Oh, I hope not. He's the one. Kill Benji. Kill any of them. You can't kill Ving Rhames.
You can have Benji. I didn't realize he was in Guardians. Let's scroll down.
He's also the Arby's We Have the Meats guy.
No, you don't have Ving. No,
you didn't know that,
man. I did not realize he was We Have the Meats.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my god! I saw a tweet the other day of some like young punk who was like I don't know, he's watching something and he tweets out, "Yo, the Arby We Have the Meats guys in this movie."
Jesus Christ!
And I wanted to punch that person. Like, you put some respect on Ving Rhames' name.
He was also in Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. I think a very underappreciated movie. I'm gonna guess it's one of the Mission Impossible.
I don't recall any Mission Impossibles ending with money raining from the sky.
Animal Shooting Gallery, Leroy and Stitch. What the fuck is Leroy and Stitch?
Oh, because he voices one of like the agents.
Is he the big alien guy that flies the ship that they had to change because of 9/11?
Is he?
Was he in the good? He was in the goods. Is it raining money in the goods?
I don't know. Hang on. Is he? I thought he was one of the agents in Lilo and Stitch. Googling it now. Stitch, Ving Rhames.
He's Mr. Bubbles, right?
Yeah, he's Mr. Bubbles. He's the big one who looks like Ving Rhames.
Let's see. Movies with Ving Rhames, where it rains money.
Ving Rhames movie that ends with money falling from sky.
Force of Execution?
Holiday Heart is what came up when I Googled that very specific.
Yep, same here.
So it's got to be that one.
Now we have to talk about the movie. Damn it, I wanted to search to last long.
Hang on. First of all, I can go to Joe Rumrill's Letterboxd account and see if he's seen the movie Holiday Heart.
Smart. This is hard hitting. This is how journalism works, folks. You find a lead and you chase it.
Yeah, man. This is just
that's why Matt's higher on the pyramid.
Exactly.
Pyramid
exactly. They're gonna get Dustin Hoffman to play me in the movie. No, they're gonna get Robert Redford to play me in the movie.
Is that my daughter in there? That's not Dustin Hoffman.
That's Sean Penn.
Is that my daughter in there?
Is that my daughter in there? That's a good movie.
Psych does a really good a send up of that where
Sean Spencer.
Yeah, Sean Spencer. Him and Gus, both their favorite taco truck guy gets murdered. Is that Mauricio in there? Is that Mauricio in there?
Psych is really good at like parodying the things they parody.
That's like their penultimate episode. And it's so good.
Was it their penultimate one? The taco truck one?
The taco truck episode is their penultimate, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
it's a good fucking penultimate.
God, that's such a good show.
It's the same episode where Sean finds out Lasser and his wife are buying his childhood home. And they have the baby in the back of that taco truck.
I did not realize that taco episode was the penultimate one. Incredible.
It is. Oh, wait, you know what? Never mind. The penultimate one is that scary one. That one is the next to the penultimate.
Oh, okay. So it's just before the penultimate.
Yeah. I consider it the penultimate episode. Okay, I don't like the true penultimate episode.
Which scary one is the penultimate one? Because there's a few scary ones.
It's the one where Gus is getting like therapy from who's Ash in Evil Dead? I forget his name. Bruce Campbell.
Oh, that's right. That episode weird. I remember.
It's weird because Psych does really good scary episodes. Like they did I think the first scary episodes in season 1. It's called Scary Carrie. It's the one where Sean and Gus discover that the urban legend they grew up on, they actually made up. So like everyone knows it because of them.
Their Friday the 13th like send up episode was really good.
so good, and I forget the actor who ends up being the bad guy, but he's really good in that. And
Isn't it the guy who plays? Isn't it the guy who plays Foggy Nelson in Daredevil?
Yes, that's Foggy. Fuck, that's Foggy. That's right.
Um,
And Foggy was also in Mighty Ducks.
was he really?
I'm pretty sure he was in Mighty Ducks.
Oh my god, I love how he shows up randomly in Killers of the Flower Moon and just has like no lines. He's just there to look like a weird guy. Anyway, Joe Rumrell has not. Well, if he has seen Holiday Heart, he did not log it on Letterboxd.
Holy shit, dude! Someone's shooting behind my house. There were just like 5 gunshots.
Oh, when you said shooting, I thought, oh, this is fun. It's a film podcast. They're making a film.
Did you hear those shots?
No, the microphone did not pick it up. You sure it wasn't a car?
No, it was a bang, 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 bang.
Oh,
It's like 9 or 10 shots. Holy shit!
well, ladies and gentlemen, this may be our last ever episode. Okay, so Nick is alive. Nick's family is alive. So this will not be the last episode.
Unless the redneck neighbors heard me talking shit about him off mic, and then it will be the last episode.
Oh God, what a terrible way to end. Talking about Con Air.
10 shots. Like, what, were they shooting in an airplane?
Oh well, now that I know your family's okay, I can make this joke. Seems like your neighbors also hate this movie.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Or they love it and they're mad at us, and that was them aiming for me.
They heard you say this movie sucks, and so they're like, our dumbass loud neighbor's recording that podcast again. What's he talking about this week? Con Air. Oh, that's a great movie. He said it sucks. Get the shotty.
That liberal fucking neighbor of ours don't like it, and they only know I'm liberal because I'm not. I don't wear the sunglasses to record.
Yeah. How does he record? Well, he's not wearing the Oakleys.
How do you know he's liberal? Does he have a sign? No, worse, he ain't got Oakleys.
I ain't never seen him wear no Oakleys. I think he got Ray-Bans. Oh, let's fuck him.
And his beard's in a sensible shape. It ain't cut all weird to look like a goatee.
Oh, he looks a little bit like J.D. Vance. He's probably trying to make fun of him.
He's doing one of those TikTok spoof channels. I've seen it. Gonna go dislike. I've never seen him wear a ball cap. He's never worn a ball cap.
He's one of those comedy writers that wants to teach you a message.
He's all into his subtext.
Oh, can we do this instead of talking about Con Air?
Buddy, I don't read the text. What makes you think I'm going to get the subtext?
Oh, unless it's a text about Papa John's. No, Jimmy John's. Well, I don't know. What's a redneck Subway place? Okay, let's talk about this movie so I can go to sleep.
If it ain't about the Arby's guy, I don't want to talk about it. They got the meats. He ain't got the meats.
All right. Okay. Con Air is a 1997 American action thriller directed by Simon West and starring Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich in the lead roles. It's written by Scott Rosenberg and produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. Of course it is.
Jerry Schmuckheimer, more like it.
Oh, God. A good Jerry Bruckheimer movie? Great. A bad Jerry Bruckheimer movie? Fuck. Want to kill yourself. Which this movie made me want to do. The film centers on a prison break aboard a J-Pats aircraft nicknamed as Con Air. Fuck this movie, man. People like this movie, like unironically. I don't understand.
It's just so... It thinks it's so cool. It thinks it's so cool, but it's so lame.
Okay, look. We usually do the criticism sandwich where we got a nice bun of positives, some meats of negatives, which is okay because it's a dad movie podcast, and you know that bad meat, it's still good. It's just a suggestion. You know, that expiry date is just a suggestion. And then a final positive bun, a nice bun of goodness. I propose, because I'm assuming you have just as few likes as I do, that we just shit on this movie the whole time.
We've reached, so our bread loaf, we only had the heel left, and so we have to eat. We're having a poor sandwich, which is meat bread.
I have precisely 4 likes about this movie, one of which is barely something to talk about.
Same. One is like a quick sentence, and I'm out.
Okay, so let's just get all of them over with and then shit on the movie for the 20 minutes.
Okay. So there's a moment in the movie where what's his name? Not Ving Rhames. It is Danny Trejo. He's the rapist on the plane.
Johnny 23.
Johnny 23. He gets beat up by Nicholas. Don't do that to women Cage, and or treat women well Cage. He handcuffs Danny Trejo. Plane crashes. Paramedics come in and they're like, "This one's dead," and it's Danny Trejo, and they carry him away. And the reveal that he's dead is that his arm's no longer attached to him. I was like, "Oh, that it kind of caught me off guard." I was like, "Oh shit, yep, he's dead for sure."
I think John Malkovich is really good. He's
being unhinged John Malky.
Yeah, unhinged John Malkovich is always good. Of the 2 movies we've done for this podcast where John Malkovich is unhinged, this is the worst. But he's good. You gotta love unhinged John Malkovich.
I like saying Cyrus the Virus. It's a really good nickname.
It is.
What was he? So the one guy found his wife cheating on him, and instead of killing his wife right away, went and killed her extended family, and then came back and killed her and her lover.
Yeah.
And then Ving Rhames' character did a bunch of murders and wrote like a manifesto that was like a bestseller.
Yeah.
What did Johnny Malco do in this one?
I don't remember the specifics. I just know that they said he was like the worst kind of guy, just the craziest kind of guy. Let me see if I can find it here.
I like Dave Chappelle in the beginning of the movie. Where he pulls out a condom of gasoline out of his stomach.
Yeah.
And douses. I want to get the character. I don't want to call him Chief, because Chief is not his name, but he calls him Chief, and he's like, "Chief, if you survive this,
no hard feelings." Yeah.
That's the man on fire.
What did he say when he set him on fire? He said something funny.
That's what is that? Sally? No, that's not Sally. Sally Can't Dance is the guy that is hooking them up with the plane.
Anyways, so Cyrus the Virus is just like a career criminal. Like that's
okay. All his life, he's good at it.
Yeah. What the hell I know he said something funny when he set the guy on fire, which gave me some kind of high hopes for the movie, and then just it was nothing. But I'm gonna look through the quotes of this movie, see if I can find it, because I know it was funny. If I find this and it turns out it's not as funny as I thought it was, I'm gonna be mad.
It's okay. We already know it's a bad movie.
It really is. Oh, okay. I'm looking here. Okay.
Like when I was so thankful that I watched this movie while walking on the treadmill.
Oh, I was sat in my chair watching this movie, just being mad.
It's just, it makes no sense. And I'm not one of those people. It's like everything's got to make sense. I need to know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not like that either. Like we said in the last episode, like that, would that make a good movie? No. So then things don't have to make sense. But like, just this whole movie is dumb, and it's not dumb in a fun way. It's dumb in a annoying, stupid, bad way.
I do like John Cusack in this. It's slow out the gate for him, but once he's like button heads with that DEA guy and he steals his car and everything, and he's actually doing something, then I like John Cusack in this.
I do think like the last 40 minutes of this movie are pretty good.
Like when they crash on when they land at the airstrip.
I think from the time the like cartel people like blow up to the end, I was like, this is what this movie should have been from the beginning. Just a batshit insane action movie. Cause like once once that plane goes like once they like blow up and they get back on the plane and things like and they find out that like Nick Cage is like helping the authorities. It's just nonstop, just insanity. but in like insanity in a good way. But everything before that is just like really dumb and boring, and it's so boring all you can do is think about how stupid it is.
I also like the final chase. They're on the fire truck. The bad guys are on the fire truck. Nick Cage and John Cusack are on motorcycles giving chase. I like that. That was good action movie schlock.
Yeah, like the whole last third of this movie is good action movie schlock. It's like the kind, like it's insane, and you can like turn your brain off and be like, "This is cool." Like what, right? Like when John Cusack is like, and like the DA guy are like chasing the plane in like a helicopter, in like helicopters, like trying to shoot them down, and like John Cusack is like moving his helicopter in the way because like, no, you can't shoot that down. Like that's fun. When when they crash into Vegas, that's fun.
There's actual stakes.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, not to quote Forrest Gump like I'm going through the rest of this, but that's all I got to say about that.
I'm still looking for this Dave Chappelle quote. I don't think I'm going to find it. But yeah, like the last 40 minutes, the last 30 to 40 minutes of this movie, I was like, this is great, But like the problem is, you can't be a 2-hour movie and only be good in the last 40 minutes, right? Because
if you're going to do that, at least have the decency of being an hour and a half long.
Yeah, right? And if you're only good in the last 40 minutes, I don't care anymore at that point. Like, I've checked out. Like, I already hate this. Like, you're not saving yourself. Because, like, you were stupid and boring, and you wasted an hour and 20 minutes of my time.
Can we please start shitting on this?
My last positive note is that I am always a fan when movies end in sitcom credits.
Oh, the character, and then freeze frame, and then Danny Trejo. Just like
the actor or the character, like doing something and like maybe smiling, and then with their name on the screen, like a fucking sitcom. Danny Trejo.
It's a little darker when you consider half of the cast have done like atrocious things to other human beings.
Yeah, but just like that thing, like I mean, like I'm always a fan of it. Predator does it the best, but
like Danny Trejo licking Rachel Ticotin's face and then it freeze framing on him.
Yeah,
Danny Trejo. It's like, no, we maybe don't freeze frame Danny Trejo in this one.
Yeah, like that's always a fun time. Okay, this is what he said. He said the last Mohican is burning, man.
Jesus Christ.
I thought.
Do you think Chappelle wrote that joke?
I don't know, but I thought that was.
I feel like he wrote that.
Terrible thing to say, but in the context of like who did it, like I think that's fun.
Given his comedy around that time, that sounds like a Chappelle joke.
All right, we can start shitting on the movie now because I got nothing else positive to say.
Fucking finally. Okay, so the movie opens at the very beginning. Nick Cage has just gotten back from a honorable discharge or whatever, and he meets his wife at the bar, and she's apparently pregnant, but like not very. So I'm already like, wait a minute. This isn't your baby, Nicolas Cage. Do you understand how like he's so fucking stupid in this movie. I don't think he understands how pregnancy works.
I don't think the writer understood how pregnant, because I don't think it's supposed to be a thing where like, oh, that's not his child. I think it's just like something they didn't think about. They were just like, hey, let's make her pregnant. And they
Monica
did it.
Potter is very much not pregnant in this scene.
Oh my god, that
Nicolas Cage is talking to a little tummy.
Fuck, man. This whole movie is dumb. It's like I said, like I love a good dumb action movie, right? But dumb action movies get away with it because like interesting, cool things are happening, right? Nothing interesting happens in this movie. For at least the first 2/3 of this movie, nothing happens. So all you can do is sit and think about how dumb it is.
The first 15 minutes of the movie are literally Nick Cage gets jumped by the good old boys at the bar who are
terrible fight scene.
terrible fight scene, but they're also talking shit. They're like, you're people like you are the reason we lost Vietnam, which the movie is set in present day, right? It's not set in the 70s or the 60s.
No,
right?
it's set in present day.
So like they talk about Vietnam like it was yesterday, like we just lost.
And these aren't old guys either. Like, these guys wouldn't have been around for Vietnam.
You're right. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like, I'm bringing up a better movie here, but I'm going to quote The Big Lebowski. What the fuck does anything have to do with Vietnam? What the fuck are you talking about, man?
It caught because I paused the movie for a minute. I was like, wait a minute, when does this take place?
It's so dumb.
Well,
And
you know, it kind of looks run down, but then you're like, oh wait, they're in Alabama.
Yeah.
So it looks like Alabama in the 90s, which looks like Alabama now.
And like they jump him and like he beats them up, and it's a terrible fight scene. Terrible. It's edited atrociously. Just quick cuts. You can never tell what's happening like concretely. And so he kills the guy in self-defense. And so he goes to jail for this. And the reason he goes to jail is because he can't plead self-defense because as a military man, he's considered a lethal weapon. And right there, I'm like, oh no. Like, oh fuck.
His lawyer tells him to plead guilty. His lawyer gives him bad advice. He's like, "Hey, take the guilty plea.
Like, look, I understand.
You'll get like 4. You'll get 4. You'll serve 1.
I understand. Yeah, he gets 8 years because he killed a guy in self-defense because he was in the military and therefore he's a lethal weapon and should have known better.
You know, maybe if he was a little more lethal on tour, maybe he wouldn't have been discharged.
So I love the notion that this movie posits that if you were in the army and someone attacks you, you have to just hope they don't kill you because if you kill them, you should have known better. You're going to prison.
So wait, if I kill a weapon like that, do I get like a medal?
Like
Can I steal valor at that point?
Like they really couldn't have come up with a better way to get him in jail. Like you couldn't have come up with anything else.
It's super simple. The guy you killed was the nephew of a cop, or was the nephew of the judge. Like not the judge, because I feel like that would have been like nixed, but something to where it's like, well, that guy was well liked by a lot of people. We're giving you the chair.
Yeah, just nothing. Just you killed an idiot redneck drunk in self-defense. Well, you were in the military and therefore you yourself are a lethal weapon and should have known better than to do what you did. So 8 years in prison.
And then the next 10 to 15 minutes of the movie are him writing to his daughter. And I think the daughter is more literate than him because he struggles through his fucking letters with that accent. Hey, baby, you are writing good letters. I love to read your letters. These are good. Like, is he doing a Gump? Is he on the
back in the box?
Intentional?
Look, I love Nick Cage. I legitimately think Nick Cage is one of the greatest actors to ever live. I don't know what's going on in this movie.
I just thought of the Community episode where Abed studied Nick Cage and was trying to understand him and went crazy. And I started to understand him in that episode a little more. Like, I get it why you went crazy.
Look, I think legitimately Nick Cage has a case to be made that he's like one of the greatest actors ever on the history of this earth. And a lot of times I'll watch like a bad Nick Cage movie and be like, well, he was really good in it at least. Like he did something. Right? He
takes risks.
He takes risks. He's a very people love to be like, oh, Nick Cage, I'd love to see him cage out or whatever. And I was actually watching a movie not too long ago. I was watching it's called A Perfect Getaway. And in the movie, they're talking about Nick Cage. And Timothy Olyphant goes, oh, I love Nick Cage. I love how he gets intense. Oh, I love how he gets intense right at the end of a sentence. I'm like, yeah, like people love and it's a really good Nick Cage impression actually. Good movie, I recommend it. But like people love like this notion of Nick Cage as this over actor who like goes like over the top, like he goes full Cage. But like if you really watch a Nick Cage performance, everything he's doing has purpose. And like there's a reasoning behind like why he goes full Cage and when he doesn't. And like he's a very physical actor. Like he's very silent movie actor. Like you could like mute him and you kind of get what he's going for. I don't know what the fuck was going on in this movie. Why is that your accent?
I think it's the filmmakers that know
What's
Nick
with your
Cage and know,
what's
and,
with your
and
hair?
know what he's doing. Like I look at Longlegs and like they know that he's gonna like.
I watched Longlegs yesterday. I watched Longlegs yesterday. I hated it more than I hated this movie, but he's incredible.
Really?
I did. I really hated it. But
You hated Longlegs.
I hated Longlegs. That's a whole other discussion.
That's a whole other can of worms. That's a whole other episode of Worms.
Yeah, I hated Longlegs. Long story short, I think it's just I think it's a cobbled together carbon copy of other better movies, and all it made me do was regret I didn't watch Seven instead. But every time, like Nick Cage is on screen, I'm like, yes, this is something. So like even when I despise a movie he's in, I usually can be like, well, Nick Cage did something.
It's the other way around in this. Nick Cage is like atrocious in this, and like you're like, get him out of here, get him gone.
Yeah, this is the one I'm like, I don't know I don't know why he's doing that accent. I don't know why what's with that hair.
You look at this cast and you're like, man, this should have been a fucking home run. Like everyone should have been on their A game, and this would be like a classic. But I don't know, maybe it's us, like, because the Letterboxd is like, we love it.
I don't know,
like,
man.
No,
I feel like this is one of those things that people liked ironically enough that they tricked themselves into thinking they liked it for real. But I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine liking this ironically. I feel like people like the last 40 minutes of this movie, and they like the gifs of Nick Cage in slow motion. And so they're like, that's the movie that I know. That's the movie. But the movie I watched was an hour and 20 minutes of nothing interesting happening, and just stupidity and bad writing, and then 40 minutes of a pretty good schlock movie.
We were talking about bad fights. There's a fight between Nick Cage and William Billy Bedlam Bedford. Terrible name there, Billy. Where they're in the undercarriage of the plane, and they're hunched over having to fight, and it's just as bad as the other fight. Where like the cuts are all over the place. It's like they're rolling in the hay.
Yeah. And he does like a roundhouse kick in it, but like the way it's edited, you're not sure who did the roundhouse kick. Like, how are you gonna fuck up a roundhouse kick? A roundhouse kick is the coolest. A roundhouse kick should be the coolest move anybody pulls in a movie, and you made it lame. Like, what are we doing here?
I also can't quite figure out their plan. So they're obviously they're stealing the plane. They're landing.
They're stealing the plane to land.
They're landing and delivering like it's business as usual. We're the guards.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, wouldn't the guards at the place you're going to kind of have like a docket of like, okay, here are the officers. Maybe here's some like wouldn't this plan of like derailed right away when like
none of this plan makes. This plan doesn't make any sense if you think about it even a little bit. First of all, how did they even come up with this plan together? Because as far as like, okay, so the basis is that John Malkovich, Cyrus the Virus, planned this out with like a Colombian drug lord who was in another prison that they pick up on the like along the way. But like, how did you plan this with another guy who's in a different prison than you?
Yeah, what are you, fucking pen pals?
Like, it doesn't make any sense. And their plan is essentially, they're going to land the plane, business as usual. They're going to trick the guards. The guards aren't going to check. They're going to be like, yeah, well, a couple of us will get off the plane and pretend to be whatever, right? And so they'll think everything's fine. And we're not going to check the IDs of these people and make sure everything's okay. Then we're going to go to this abandoned airport or this rundown old like airfield or whatever, where we're going to get on a different plane from your Colombian guys, and then they're gonna go to, I don't know, like Venezuela.
And just the concept of and again, like, you can have a ridiculous premise. I do not care. But like John Cusack and everyone's like, this is the future of transportation of prisoners, yada, yada, yada. But then also the DEA's there and they need their secret guy on there with his gun.
It's so stupid. And I know you said you liked like John Cusack's whole thing with the DEA guy, but the whole time of this, I'm thinking every time, like, John Cusack's having problems because like because like nobody's listening to him and they're doing what the DEA guy wants. But like, a DEA guy's not going to have jurisdiction over a U.S. Marshal when it comes to federal fugitives. Like, no one's going to listen to the DEA guy over the Marshal. So that
was Cusack a Marshal? I thought he was like a warden or something.
No, he was a Marshal. So like that whole, and like their dynamic is fine, but I'm like nobody's going to listen to this guy over John Cusack, because John Cusack's literally, it's his job. Like, his jurisdiction is fugitives. It's his now. Like, go home, DEA guy. You're done.
I for sure thought when they went out to go shoot down that family, I thought they were going to shoot down that family plane.
I thought so too.
I was actually kind of rooting for it. I was like, you know, this DEA guy needs to be knocked down a peg. So maybe shooting down some innocents will bring him back down a level. I also think they killed Chappelle way too early in this. I think he needed to be in another 20, 30 minutes. Like, him at the airstrip with them would have been great.
Yeah. And
then he could have walked in on Nick Cage with the cartel guys, and that's when he gets put down. But they kill him off screen. He gets caught in the wheel gear trying to get back in onto the plane.
Yeah, like you see him trip.
Like, I like how right. I like how Nick Cage uses his body to send a message. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But also, I wish Nick Cage was in there just a little bit longer.
I just wish something.
Nick Cage, Dave Chappelle.
I just wish something had, because I feel like most of this movie, I'm just waiting for like things to happen. Like, so they get on the plane, the hijacking is successful, the prisoners run the thing now, and I'm like, okay. So Nick Cage is going to try to stop them, I guess. But like at that point, like nothing's really happening for a while. It's just like cutting between Nick Cage on the plane, plotting a way to like get off and get alert the authorities. And then it'll cut to like John Cusack trying to find out what's happening, but like nothing, like they don't really do anything. I'm like do something, right? Like,
when it gets down to the fact that there's no reason for Cameron Poe to be on that plane, he simply just stays because his friend is in diabetic shock.
Yeah, but it's like that's not even like that's not even a bad reason to keep him on the plane. Like, okay, but that's great. It gives him motivation, but I'm like have him do something. Like, he's so passive just for most of the time, and then like someone else will do something and he'll just be there and be like, I'm here, and okay, I'll insert, like, okay, fine. Like the idiot DEA guy who was on the plane, the undercover DEA guy, the fucking moron who was like, oh,
fucking idiot,
the dumbest federal agent you'll ever see. The whole plane gets taken over by the convicts, and your plan is to take one of them hostage and show that you're a Fed with a gun? Yeah, you fucking idiot. You think you can get out of that situation?
That's gonna work out there, buddy. That's gonna work out for you there.
Yeah, like, you fucking idiot. You should have just gone along with it until you could get off the plane and inform. Like, fucking dumbass.
You've got a secret gun. You've got a thing, like, you've got an unknown advantage. Like, just stay hidden,
you stupid idiot. But so he
be undercover. Like, you're undercover. How do you not understand that you need to stay undercover until you can blow your cover and be fine?
He's so dumb. But so like he reveals himself and like takes like Dave Chappelle hostage. So he dies, obviously. But like while he's like taking him hostage or whatever and like trying to get like Cyrus the Virus to stand down, Poe is like, you don't want to do this, buddy. You know, just think about this. Right, and he's, and Cyrus the Virus kills him, and then from that point on, he's like, "Yeah, good job. What's your name? Poe. Okay, good job, Poe. So then every now and then, like he'll just he'll just like go to Poe for something and be like, okay, but like Poe doesn't do anything. Like he's
Well, I
just
also don't understand why they're all so hung up on the fact that Poe is like getting out. Like they kind of treat it like he was like, well, yeah, he was keeping it a secret, but I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Like, yeah, there are going to be some convicts that are getting out. They just make it like a big deal, like he's some undercover guy, but no, he's just a prisoner actually who served his time and he's getting out. He's just going this way with you guys.
yeah.
I didn't get that.
I mean, like, I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense. Like at the end, when like, who's the traitor? Oh, it's this. It's got to be this guy because he's the only one that's like doesn't have to escape. But like,
But he didn't do much to betray. All he did to betray them was send that message with Dave Chappelle's body. He didn't do anything else.
yeah, I'm like he killed the fucking Colombians, but they were gonna turn on them anyway. Like
Right, and he killed Billy, but Billy had already turned on him at that point. So he was just fighting for his life, and it's not like anybody fucking liked Billy anyway.
yeah, like nobody cares about. So like, who gives a shit? And it's just the whole movie. It's like just do something. Like you're on this plane. You want to get off. You want to get your friend off. Do something. Like be like nothing happens. So like for a lot of this movie, I'm just watching Cyrus the Virus talk about what's gonna happen, and I'm looking at Nick Cage talking about what he just talking about. Oh well, I'm trying to get off this plane to help you, and it's like okay, so fucking try, like do something, like. And he only sends that message even like that's just pure luck. Like it's not even like a thing. It's just like he just happens to like oh great. Like it's just
And then the movie takes its bloated cast and decides, like, hey, you know, we should add Steve Buscemi.
oh my god! Look, I love Steve Buscemi.
I do too.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those actors. When he pops up in a movie, I'm like hell yeah. But like, why is he in this?
Nick Cage and McKelty Williamson's character are completely creeped out by him because Buscemi plays a serial pedophile rapist / killer.
Yeah.
And they have and I like their conversations because like they're skeeved out. They're like, you fucking disgust me, man. You're fucking gross. And Steve Buscemi's having a conversation with them like he's some normal dude.
Yeah, like I love Steve Buscemi. He's great. Like, and it's like what you said earlier. Like, this is a good cast. This should have been like an incredible. Like, this movie is full of great character actors, but like none of them have anything interesting to do at all. Like, why? Like, Steve Buscemi is in this movie for no reason.
And they fucking
like,
they make you feel all like they're at the airstrip. He finds a little girl in an abandoned pool, and he's having tea with her.
First of all,
fuck, don't
why
do it.
is this
don't fucking do it?
Why
Movie,
is this little girl? Why is this little girl playing in an abandoned pool next to a rundown airfield? Where are her parents? What is she doing?
That was a trailer park where I think her parents were in the trailer. Knowing trailer parks, I've lived in a few in my life. I actually lived in a trailer next to a. Yeah, it was.
Okay,
I lived in a trailer next to a guy that was making meth.
Oh wow!
And he would actually steal water from our hose.
Okay.
But you know what? He needed to keep his enterprise going, so whatever. But yeah, so she came from the trailer park. He's sitting there having tea with her, and the whole time you're like, "Fuck! Don't do anything to this child. Don't do it. And he ends up not doing it. But like the movie he's just there to like.
Does he not do it? Or I mean it.
No, because she's still alive. The movie points out that she's still alive. Now, that's not to say he didn't do anything.
Okay.
But he leaves.
I wasn't sure
with a doll.
Yeah, he left with a doll. I wasn't sure.
He leaves with a doll, which you could subtextually be like, well, he left with a piece of innocence, or he found like his inner child or something. Either way, I don't want to look too deep into it because like,
there's no subtext in this movie.
No. I don't want to give it too much credit. But the only reason he's there is because they needed something to like keep you on edge.
Yeah, but like
while this other stuff was going on.
Like he contributes absolutely nothing to the plot, to the story, to anything in this movie. Whatever themes of this movie you might want to delude yourself into thinking exist. He doesn't contribute anything to anything. He's just in it. And I love Steve Buscemi. I put Steve Buscemi in all the things, but give him like he's just here. Like he's just a waste of my time. This movie's just a waste of my time until it gets to the last 40 minutes. What am I watching this for? Nothing happens on the plane in between the hijacking and when they land. Not like I guess some things happen with John Cusack, but like it's switching between him and Nick Cage so much that like nothing really happens with John Cusack, at least nothing to get invested in. Steve Buscemi's there for no reason.
Bing Rames is also here for no reason. He doesn't really. He's the muscle, and he's not doing much.
Like, just nothing in this movie. Nothing happens for any reason. There's nothing here. It's just a nothing movie.
What you know, you said you can't really find a theme. Don't rack your brain. I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Okay.
The theme of this movie is that the justice system is broken. and our military complex on top of our for-profit prisons will be the end of society as we know it. I got it. There we go. We got it. Just a weird fucking movie that nobody goes anywhere. I'm not rooting for Cameron Crowe to see his daughter for the first time. It's a very Forest Park pilled movie because Nick Cage, I guess, saw Forrest Gump before he saw this or worked on this, and he was like, you know what, I love you, Trisha Pope, like just Poe, doing that voice. He's got Bubba with him, and he can't go back without Bubba. What else? What other similarities were there? He's trying to see his kid for the first time. There were more, but my brain is rotting talking about this movie.
You know what I kept thinking while watching this movie?
He defends a woman. He beats up someone who's like being rough with a woman. So you don't treat women like that. It's so many similarities.
Oh my god, this movie is okay. Oh my god, I read one when I was looking for a Dad-approved Letterboxd review. One of the reviews was like, "Yeah, how could you not love this? Nick Cage, Steve Buscemi, a badass female cop." I'm like, "What are you talking about, a badass female cop? She doesn't do anything in this movie. Nobody does
chained up.
Nobody does anything in this movie." Like, I'm watching this movie thinking to myself, the whole time I'm thinking to myself, so it's an action movie, supposedly, on a plane. We should have watched Air Force One.
We should have watched Broken Arrow.
We should have watched Executive Decision.
We should have watched the Jamie Foxx classic Stealth.
Like, I don't know if they thought, well, he's on the plane with the convicts, so he can't really do anything until they land for his plan. But like, you can't make a movie where your main character doesn't do anything for 2/3 of the movie.
He needs to do something.
He does
anything.
He does like 3 things. He very quickly plants that fucking communicator thing on the guy. He gets into a terribly shot fight, and he tosses Dave Chappelle's body with a message on it.
And the thing, you know what could have saved it.
2 of those things are happenstance.
You have 2 options. You either keep Baby O active, you keep him in the game, so that Nick Cage has someone to bounce off of, bounce ideas and like work together with. Or you keep the dumbass DEA agent alive, and he's working with Nick Cage to get things done, and then you eventually kill him. But then, Nick Cage is just a good old boy who's not gonna do anything until he's like back against the wall, like hunched over in the undercarriage of the plane.
There's no tension. You can't have an action. This is labeled as an action thriller. Neither of those genres work if you have no tension. There's no tension. You can't have tension
because you're not going to kill Nick Cage, and you've killed or sidelined everybody else that you could kill in that moment.
Yeah, right? Like, there's nothing. There's nothing here. It's a nothing movie.
And that's why they have that scene with Buscemi, because they know they have no tension. So they're like, okay, this kid's on the table now. What's going to happen?
Oh.
And That's them realizing like, oh shit, DEA agent dead, Baby O basically in shock. We've got Rachel. Like the movie, it's sick because they kill everybody. So the movie for like that middle section's like, well, we're gonna make you think a child's gonna be harmed, or we're gonna make you think this woman's about to be raped by Danny Trejo.
And like even on the plane, Steve Buscemi doesn't do anything. Like, okay, like how about he make him like you can bring some tension into the plane with Steve Buscemi. If he's like a crazy serial killer, the craziest one of all of these people, have him like build some tension. Maybe he screws something up for somebody. You know, maybe he's a threat on the plane. Have something happen.
And Cyrus is scared of him. Cyrus is not scared of anybody. And Cyrus is like, oh no, this guy this guy's crazy.
Yeah, you can have him lurking about while Nick Cage, you know, is trying to like plan ways to like stop these guys. Or like you said, if the DEA guy was alive and him and Nick Cage were like working together, you know, you can have Steve Buscemi as the wild card of like, what's he gonna do? He's lurking around. He's gonna ruin it for them, or maybe he's gonna ruin something for Cyrus. Like he's anarchy he's an anarchist. He's anarchy to an anarchist, but like you just don't have anything.
This movie just bums me out. So much wasted. John Malkovich is like doing everything he can.
Yeah, I know you didn't like Ambulance, but I'm gonna bring it up here because one of the things you said about Ambulance is that like how stupid it was, right? But
what's his name? The Gyllenhaal just felt like he was all over the place, and I couldn't
yeah, but like
buy the brother, them being brothers.
You couldn't buy them being brothers, but like I know like how stupid but like. To me, like, that's an example of a movie that's stupid in the right way because it's stupid, but it commits to its stupidity. And within the stupidity, there's a natural progression of things that make sense. And this movie is an example of a stupid movie that doesn't commit to its stupidity. And there's no natural progression of its stupid events. So it just doesn't, like, it's one thing for a movie to not make sense when you consider the logic of our world. But this movie doesn't make sense when you consider the logic of its own fictional universe. Because it doesn't follow any kind of anything. It's just dumb. Just dumb things happen and nothing happens.
I think it can be summed up perfectly as great premise, terrible fucking execution.
This is
terrible.
a one.
Even if the last 40 minutes are good, like no, you can't. Like I have to stay awake to get to the last 40 minutes.
This is a one. This is a one.
I'm also giving it a 1. 1 star. You get 1.
Yeah, I think on Letterboxd I gave it a 2 because of those last 40 minutes. But I hate it even more now.
Oh, where's it on the dad ranking?
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. I feel like a dad is gonna hate how stupid it is. Because like dads love a stupid action movie, but they don't love a stupid action movie where you're gonna be poking this many holes into it.
I think dads are very disapproving when they see someone they like in a movie and they're completely wasted.
Yeah, it's like dads, like you're not getting The Rock Nick Cage in this, you know?
No.
So yeah, they'll be disappointed in that. They will enjoy Malkovich. I think that
they'll enjoy Malkovich, they'll enjoy Chappelle.
I think how much of a dad movie this is really depends on if the dad watches the whole movie or if he falls asleep and wakes up near the end.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I walk into a room and my son's watching Con Air, I'm having to talk with him. And the talk is, we're not watching Con Air in this house.
I feel like it really depends on at what point the dad starts watching and at what point the dad falls asleep and at what point he wakes. Like if a dad is browsing the channels and this comes on like near the end, he's going to be all in. if he starts this from the beginning, he'll probably fall asleep about 20 minutes in and wake up near the end and be like, pretty good.
I think for that reason, just because there's only a small portion of the film that's actually watchable for dads, I'm gonna give it like a 20% on the dad radar or the dad marker, whatever.
I think I don't know if I'd go that low.
I think if you go any higher, you're just a bad dad.
I really think this one's hard because I really think it depends on the dad, and it depends when they start watching it. Because if again, like I feel like there's an argument to be made that if you're scanning the channels for this, and you just see it in that like later half, like you're gonna be like, yeah, cool, ridiculous Nick Cage action movie.
But if you catch it, even a glimpse of one of the bad fights, you're like, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah. Like if a dad changes it, if you're scanning if dad's like scanning the channels, this comes on, they'll be like, oh, Nick Cage, long hair, they're on a plane, let's see what this is about. And if it's like close to like when they're on that airstrip and shit's about to go down, I could see this being like a 70. But if you're like watching this like any earlier, and if a dad sees like one of those like fights, I don't know, I'm gonna go 50 because I really do think it depends on like, do they wake up near the end or do they stay asleep?
I think if it's so dependent on the end that like you've already lost. That's why I'm going so low on it. I'm giving it a 20. I'm sticking with the 20.
No, I do think though, like and this is like the first time this has really been like there's a disparity between what we think of a movie and how much of a dad movie it is, because like I do agree, like if only your last 40 minutes are good, like that's a shit movie and I'm not giving you a good rating. But again, like if a dad like is like, oh, cool action movie, it's like late, he turns it on, falls asleep for a bit, wakes up, like what he sees of it is gonna be like, that was good. Because like the last 40 minutes are like peak dad movie.
I feel like no matter how good the last whatever portion of a movie is, like it can't be saved. It can't be like you can have. Like, if you have a good first 40 minutes, then the movie is, like, in a good spot.
Yeah, but I feel like we talked about this with Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Right.
Where it's, like, that's a movie where, like, we thought, like not a lot. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff in it, but, like, it's spaced out too much and blah, 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 blah. And, like, I know, like, we said there, like, I think we rated that like around a 60%, 70% dad movie.
The stuff on boats was awesome. Yeah, anytime they were doing boat stuff.
Because like there was awesome stuff, but also like there's a big factor there where it's like if a dad, like it's the type of movie where like a dad could like turn it on, watch a bit of it, maybe fall asleep, wake up, and like he won't really have missed anything, and he'll wake up near the end and be like, hell yeah, killing Nazis. And I feel like it's kind of the same here, where it's like if you kind of like fall asleep, or if you're kind of half paying attention, or like you're a dad, you fall asleep before like it gets boring, and you wake up when it's like crazy shit's happening, you're gonna be like, hell yeah. And I honestly think that's why a lot of people love this movie, because they're really not remembering how boring most of it is. They're remembering the last 40 minutes. They're remembering kind of like the crazy, ridiculous setup, but they're not remembering that nothing happens.
Well, I gotta say about that is I wish I had their memory. Or lack therefore of. Because I wish I could forget the first hour and 20. I really do. I just feel like a dad gets in, they hear oh fuck my brain. They hear Nick Cage's accent. They're already pinging it for that. They see the justice system fail him. Another ping. They come back on for they're flying him out, like they're doing like.
There's so many elements in this that are like this is full of like like dad movie, check it off the list, right? Like it's got this, it's got this, it's got this. It's got John Cusack. Dad's like John Cusack. You know? Dad's like unhinged John Malkovich. Dad love a ridiculous action premise. You know, it checks all the boxes, but it's just they checked all the boxes of a dad movie, but they didn't do the most important thing, which was make it good or interesting.
It's bad. I'm still. You can't talk me out of it. I'm sticking with my 20.
I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying, like, I don't think I can give this, as much as I hated it, I don't think I can give it less than a 50.
I can respect that.
Because
I can be disappointed, but I can also be disappointed by it. Though.
I'm just giving you my rationalization. Because it, like, as bad as it is, it does, like, on paper, it checks all the dad movie boxes. And if a dad is just gonna, like, see the good parts, because it's a very dad thing to, like, turn on a movie because it checks all those boxes and then fall asleep because you've had a long day and then wake up near the end of the movie. And I think it really depends on how much of this movie is a dad going to see. So I can't give it less than a 50.
This is a movie where you look up all the best parts on YouTube and don't watch the rest of it.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, you say 20% dad movie, I say 50% dad movie. Either way, this is a dad movie in all. What's the right word here? It's a dad movie. It's a dad movie in concept.
Yeah. That's good wording.
Yeah. It's like they were like, it's like they were like, let's make a dad movie. Great. What do we need? All these things. Great. And then they just stopped trying.
They got everything they needed to make a cake, didn't have the instructions, and then just threw everything in and made a shit cake.
Yeah.
Sorry, dads. Just like how disappointed I am in the movie, we're also super disappointed in the negative Nancy of the week. These are the IMDb goofs. These people took the time out of their lives, which you only have so much time to give, and found something to nitpick about the movie and write about it IMDb. And I think, there's a lot here. It's an older movie. And I picked one. This was under factual errors, which makes it even funnier. A person's nose cannot be thrust into their brain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
I'd like to thrust that person's nose into their brain.
I just downvoted it, so now it's 11 upvotes and 11 downvotes. So
Okay.
I balance. At least I'm bringing balance to the IMDb page here.
I do not remember what category of goof this was listed under, but I am happy that this one has 14 dislikes to its 5 likes.
Good.
Yeah. But this one is at around 55 minutes. When Pinball hits the car, you can tell it is not Dave Chappelle, but rather a black crash test dummy carved to look like him.
The person who wrote that one needs the spaceman meme where it's like the it's all Ohio, but they're all dummies.
Have you?
And the one always have been.
Have you ever seen a movie like Jesus Christ?
So wait a minute, they didn't smash Dave Chappelle into the car.
Oh, fucking stupid!
You idiot! You fucking idiot!
Fucking
dumbass.
Okay. Let's cheer ourselves up with some dad jokes.
I made a list.
Okay.
I made a list. So this list is the top 3 worst things that have ever happened on a plane. Number 3, I watched Ambulance that one time. Number 2, 9/11. And number 1, Con Air.
It's more of an insult than a joke, but I'll give it to you.
Well, I've also got, let's see what I write here. Dave Chappelle played pinball and then would go on 20 years later to become a pinhead.
Pretty good. Any more?
He never got to put the bunny in the box. That's all I got.
Okay, well, I forgot to write down a joke, so I'm just gonna have to wing it and hope it lands well. But
No, fuck you.
but I was really expecting this to be a fun movie, and it turns out it was mostly Boeing.
Yeah, this movie really grounds your expectations.
Uh,
But we're gonna parole right on to the next one, aren't we?
that's right. I'll tell you what, this movie couldn't melt steel beams.
God damn it.
Oh, let's have some fun now, because it's time for the fun. It's time for the fun segment.
No, this movie was a real nosedive. Really, a lot of turbulence with this one.
Yeah. Do you know what
I'm
time
done.
it is? You know what time it is?
Is it time to spin that wheel?
It is.
Spin that wheel.
It is time to spin the wheel of dad movies to figure out what we'll be watching for next episode. And as always, you will also, since you know what will be the next episode, you'll also be able to watch it, before the next episode. You can watch along with us, and that way you can either yell at us or agree with us. Hopefully you agree, because we're always right, objectively speaking.
What would you like for the wheel to land on this week?
I wanted it to land on Hitman last week, so I'm still saying Hitman.
I either want Hitman or It Follows. I need a good spooky movie to close out October here.
Oh, It Follows. She, the girl from Longlegs is in that, isn't she?
I think so.
I hope It Follows is better.
You know what it is? I think we'll look back 20 years from now. I think It Follows is going to be a classic.
Okay. They're making a sequel to that, I believe.
They don't need to. They don't really need to.
I'm just saying they are.
But they don't need to.
All right. As always, I will be the sound of the wheel. I should stop clarifying that and just do it. That way new listeners can be shocked. What kind of wheel
I'm
is
surprised
this?
you just haven't recorded your wheel noises at one point and have just played it.
No, but that's more effort for me in editing.
Well, here, let me help with I want to do the wheel sound while you're doing it too.
Well, no, because see, if I record my wheel sound and then put it in later, I have to remember exactly the spot where the wheel spin begins and ends.
No, I mean record your wheel sound. So the sound that you're making, just record it to plug in somewhere so you wouldn't have to make the sound.
Oh. So
yeah. But you don't have to. This is more fun.
Yeah, it is more fun. We like to be fun here. That's the thing. There's a lot of podcasts out there. But see, our podcast, the catch is we're fun.
We're one of the fun ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of unfun ones.
Yeah.
Not us. Anyway. Oh, shit.
God damn it. What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I simply clicked the wheel. Unfortunately, I think I might be wrong because, as always, we make our own opinions on movies that we watch. We watch them. We have our own opinions. We don't follow the thoughts of others. However, there's a good chance we're going to have two stinkers in a row because it landed on Men.
I specifically didn't say that I didn't want to watch it so it wouldn't happen. Fuck.
Okay. This has been it's very late for me recording this, and it's just draining talking about such a terrible movie. So
I almost got shot this episode.
Yeah, Nick almost got shot this episode. So that's it for the podcast, folks. We'd stick around, but we got a jet.